Does anybody really believe that Trump is an actual president? I mean, does anybody really believe that there's a left and a right and they're like really against each other? Does anybody believe that Hollywood is really against Trump? And all these people? Do you not know that it's all a script? Verse by verse with the scriptures. Playing it out. Page by page. God's coming with the clouds. No, he's not. They're coming with the clouds. They do think they're gods, so this destruction is going to happen. They're going to play it out the best possible way that they know how, literally, because they don't understand anything spiritually. It's actually quite a shame. Like, I just can't help but to feel bad for these people, all the people involved, including the neighborhood town watch. Because they're just so blind. You know, there's this, you know, I try not to judge people, but when they're that way, when you look at them, you just see, like, you see that lack of intelligence, to put it kindly. And man, they really think they're getting away with this. I mean, it's a spiritual war that's been going on for a while now. Mainly these past 7 years in this tribulation period. And the great tribulation is coming soon. Because this is the tribulation part. This is where, you know, the saints are being killed and beheaded, but they're really not literally getting beheaded and getting killed. But that's what we're seeing on TV. And God wrote this Bible knowing that that's what they were going to do. Knowing that they're going to try to play his words against him and fool people. Look, you can only fool people for about 7 good days of the Great Tribulation. Maybe 10 days, I don't know. Maybe it's just prolonged, just another 3.5 days. God seems to do that a lot. Just prolongs things just a little bit longer. But they honestly think that, well, they're going to continue to live, and that this New World Order is going to go into effect, and they're just going to kill all God's people. Why would we be fighting then? You know what I mean? Why would we be fighting and exposing stuff so bad that only for all of us to just get killed? And for the people that believe in the rapture, that it's going to happen before, you know, we go through Great Tribulation. It's not. All right? There's no rapture. It was a spiritual one 7 years ago and some change. So, because not many people know that or believe it, that's why they're going to use that against us too. Because they're 7 years behind. We've been going through this tribulation period for 7 years and 4 months and a certain X amount of days. And everything's being played out perfectly the way it should. Verse by verse. First there was the abomination desolation that was getting set up. And it got set up after 1,290 days of the script of Obama playing his Antichrist rollout. So it started there. It started on April 7th, where Syria, you know, I'm just telling you what the story is. Syria gassed their own people. And then the next day, Trump bombed Syria on the 8th. And, but it was like, no, I think Israel did it, or Iran did it. No, I think Russia did it. No, you did it. No, he did it. So that started the wars and rumors of wars, Matthew 24:6. And everything else is just constantly following along. Many false prophets will rise. Many people will say, he's over there, and lo, he's over there. How many raptures are there talking about? Dates that were set for raptures this year, and people still listen constantly with thousands and thousands of views. By the way, I just want to let you know that since I talked about my views and my subscribers getting the 1,000 a month consistently, well, that was last week. It was at 18,940. For the past 7 days, it went up one and went down one and went up two, went down one more and went up one and went down twice. So it's still exactly at 18,940. I just find it funny. I don't care one way or another. You know, you guys are messing with truth, so you have to take that up with God when it happens. It's like as soon as I bring attention to it, it's like, we cannot let him get to 19,000. We're sick of this. How the hell does he keep getting all these subscribers? We know he's not buying them. You guys know. Well, that's all right. You know, whether people are subscribing, I'm just not getting the clicking count number, and I'm not getting notifications for the emails. Or, you know, they just all of a sudden stopped for some reason, out of the blue, since the last, like, 10 months. The last 10 months, it was just a consistent 1,000 every month. And then the view count just kept going down and down and down. It's dwindling down further and further and further. But I'm not complaining, I'm just making an observation. That's it, just an observation. So all this, peace and safety was the next step from the wars and rumors of wars. All the threats of, if you don't do this to Trump, we're going to come at you with fire and fury. So it's just, you know, it's script, they have the script, they have the script. And peace and safety talks started exactly 2 weeks and 6 days after the beginning of all the wars and rumors of wars, like never before. But see, on the mainstream media, they're not saying that. Not at all. They are not talking about World War III. Not anymore. At least I don't think they are. The social media is. That's where the only truth is left. And we're it. We're the last of it. So the first peace meeting was North Korea, South Korea, shaking hands, stepping on one side of the Korea, and then the other stepping on the other side of Korea. And then after that, then it was the Trump meeting with Russia talking about peace, and then Trump and North Korea, and now Trump is doing all this safety, security, and peace talk. And yes, he did shake Benjamin's hand. I don't know, but I seen that. Not any kind of vision of any sort of, like, you're seeing things. It's just the vision, meaning you can just take all the scriptures and take the scripts and take the world and take the actors and take the social media and take everybody in consideration and stir it all up in a pot and come out, and you kind of got your understanding of what's next. So he didn't shake anybody's hand inside the meetings when he was talking to all the other countries. But for some reason, he sat down with Benjamin Netanyahu, shook his hand, and said peace and safety and security and peace and love. And those two kings are sitting at one table. They're speaking lies at that same table. So they're playing that out. It's just a matter of figuring out who they are, which ones are they again? Who's the little horn and the big horn? Who are the two kings that are speaking lies at one table? Well, it seems like it's them. So for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction happens upon them, and they won't escape. But there's sudden destruction is going to happen where they're going to blame it on God, and they're going to say it's the earthquakes causing the tsunamis. And just remember that my understanding towards the very end, whether no matter what date it is or not, just know that when you see the great flood coming at us, and then the earth swallowed up the water, you know, in Revelations, I believe it is. These floods are going to be, I think these are the wonders that you ask how long, and he says for a time, times, and a half a time, until the waters, it just kind of represents the fact that God told us we're never going to be destroyed by water again. So when the flood comes at us, you know that that's that other, talks about the 3.5 days, possibly the last 7 days. I mean, it's just what it's what I go by. It's what it's the faith that I have, that it doesn't bother me with what's going on. Because my faith is telling me that very shortly, everybody's going to experience what we've only dreamed of. And literally what we want to go back to when we're in dreamland, sleeping, flat on our face. And you're remembering these vivid dreams. That's where we want to go back to. So that's coming up. And I mean, that's just how I live. Day in and day out, I live that way, knowing that that's coming real soon, knowing that we've already been through this for 7 years. And if I'm deceived, well, you know, I'm going to that last day, even if they kill us, feeling good about the world, and understanding the scripts is the best part. Knowing what they're doing, seeing it spiritually when they're doing it literally. That's the best part. That's how you know. That's how you understand. And when you see it in the world, how many people are turning to the other side, doing this surveillance on us, following us around like we're freaking super movie stars. But that's the thing, though. We all are stars. And that's the same thing with the paparazzi. They follow around the paid stars, right? The ones that wish they were us, where they had a rich spirit, but they don't. They try to buy their way into heaven, and you can't. You can't go around giving people all your money thinking that's going to do something. The money's going to collapse anyway. What the hell good is that? What good is the money? So these people follow us around. Not so much people that are following us. They're the ones being told lies. They're the ones that hate us because of what they lied to them about. As if we're terrorists. I mean, that's basically what they're talking about. Targeting terrorists. They're targeting the terrorists in Assyria. Yeah, I know they are. They're targeting us and calling us terrorists. But you know what? They're right. We are terrorists. Because we're terrorizing them with the Word of God. terrorizing them. And they're the fake ass terrorists, because they go around thinking they're terrorizing you, and they're just a bunch of lost souls. The ones that are enjoying their job, those guys, they're severely lost souls. The ones coordinating it, they're jealous of us. They wish that they had the connection, the comfort in their hearts day in and day out. Because you know what? They know who we are behind closed doors. They hear our conversations. They know more about us than anybody besides God, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to listen in on our every move and know exactly what we're doing at all times. That's why they do this. That's why they do this surveillance. And they want to be able to say things about your personal life out in public somewhere. And the people that try to be your buddies, well, they already know everything about you because they've been surveilling you for a long time, and then that's how they try to, you know, it's funny. When my brother-in-law came down, my sister from Guam, because they're stationed down there, and he came up, he's like, yeah, at the end he's like, yo, you should open up a Citibank Visa card, right? And consolidate all of your debt with that card. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's funny you said that, because that's exactly what I just did. Consolidated all my credit to a Citibank Visa card. And but see, the thing is, when you work in the CIA, you have this access to everything at the touch of a finger. And so all he did was he looked up my credit, and he seen what I did, and he had that story out there to make it seem like he's intelligent, because, like, wow, man, you must have been reading my mind. That's crazy. You're awesome. But it's a trick, you see? It's the same trick that they all pull. They know stuff about you, and then they say things as if it's their great idea, and then you think they're freaking God. Like, hey, man, you're awesome, dude. It's a great idea. So that's how they get in to be more friendlier, you know. But so anyway, back to whatever I was rambling on about. Just kind of, I don't really have much to say about. I don't really have anything planned, pre-planned, except for it's been quiet today. It's been quiet with the surveillance. Yeah, it must be the calm before the storm. Before this storm, this purple sky with cloud coverage everywhere. Let's see, what do we got going on here? The world is yucking it up now. They're getting excited. The ones that are looking to kill everybody, they're getting excited because they see how deceived people are. But again, I'm almost to the point where they truly don't know how to access the pineal gland and receive God on the other end. Now they might know how to activate it, but they're activating it satanically, and it's not the same. You still don't have the love of God in your heart. And they see how we handle things, especially when you're targeted, and they're attempting to like break you down. They want you to make that meltdown video that, you know, it just ain't happening, clowns. So that same feeling that I felt 9 months ago when people were waiting for that meltdown video of mine, it you know, It just ain't happening. Because when they were all excited about it, overly confident, well, that's exactly how the elite are right now. Overly confident that nobody's going to wake up. But see, the thing is, the main people have already woken up and have helped millions of other people on YouTube. Just waking up towards anything. Like my channel it's not about just one thing. It's never been just one particular thing, like targeting individuals. And it only started to be, I only started to do that now because I'm seeing more and more how obvious it is, and I'm seeing how it can break up families if you don't see it. And that's why as soon as I see something that's disgusting and evil, I bring it to my family's attention, and I bring it to YouTube's attention. I bring it to for you guys to see for yourself. Because let's say somebody out there, one of you guys is married to your husband and he doesn't see what you see, and it's so frustrating because they just can't get it. Or the same, you're married to, and your wife just doesn't see it. You know, my wife's seen it before I did. She's seen the sign before I did. And I mean the major sign in my house, that is. She's seen how they were getting in my house and what they were doing when they got in there. So, but beforehand it was my job to show her that she was being stalked. I was being followed and whatnot, and then that's when we caught that guy at her work, and it was so obvious. And that's why I do it to people, because you can always go back to that video like, well, look, you tell me how this guy here, he's saying that this guy's stalking his wife. You tell me if he sounds like he's lying his ass off. So that's why I keep doing the videos and put them up. I don't care what happens to me. It's just straight up ain't about me. It's about other people recognizing and keeping your household in order. Like not letting that break up your marriage or get your son or your daughter against you. And because that's what it says, you know, your sons will be against their fathers and mothers against the daughters against the mother, father's son. It causes division in the household. Now, I don't want that for people, because it's not how you want to live the last moments. You want to live them in as much peace as possible. No matter how many people harass you in a day, what are they really going to do? Seriously, what are you guys going to do? You know, you can only harass us to so much, and to a point where I'm just letting you guys know it's almost over for you. I can't say it any kinder than that. It just is. And I'm not saying you guys are going to be destroyed and burn in hell, but what will happen is, look, the ones that don't know, and if you're watching my video because you're assigned to stalk me, you're one of the main ones. If you don't know, this world is nothing but deception, and they're playing everything out on TV with the Bible's end time prophecy, and they're saying that there's a 7-year war getting ready to happen, and then the people that read the Bible, they think that there's a 7-year peace treaty going to be signed, and then from that point we said, no, we don't. No, because when destruction starts to happen, there's no way that you can live another 3 months, because their goal is just to get rid of you. And that's just where my faith comes in. That's why I live every day fearless. And I just feel pity, sympathy for these people that are driving around the streets. And for you guys that are orchestrating it, well, you guys are pathetic. You just are. You don't have the love of God in you. And I'm not sure about what's going to happen to you guys, because I'm hoping God has one last trick up his sleeve, that he's not relaying that message to me or anybody else. But I do understand this. 7 billion people are going to be not destroyed, okay? They're going to not be killed either. And they are going to be God's children because they're going to turn. They're going to turn through the fear because it's not God's will that any should perish. So if it's not God's will, but then you say, well, what do you mean? If you have free will, but it's not God's will, then what's he going to force you to turn to him? No. No. He won't force you. Satan will. Because Satan's the king of pressing his will towards you. Now, what his will is to do exactly what he's doing, using fear and deception. God knows that. That's why he created them, because he knew he was going to need them in the last days to get people to be frightened to death that they start turning to him. He's the one that created us. He knows how our pea brains work. So don't you think he understands exactly how he's going to get everybody to turn to him? And for the rest, and I retire, you know, he has no other burden to put upon you, because the burden of deception it's a burden in itself for the people that aren't paying attention. And so we're all going to experience this. And I have no idea how that's going to take place. Besides, your body will be left and your spirit will be taken. And I just don't think we're seeing death. And if we do, we do. How can you stop it? But in the meantime, you don't live your life thinking you're going to get killed. But you do accept the fact that if you do, okay, well, where's your soul going? It's going back to God, no matter what. No matter who you are, evil or good, he's going to do what he wants with it. So I just leave it in his hands. I know he's with me. He's been with me for as long as I can remember, as my memory allows me to remember as a child. I just knew I was created by God. I didn't know the details of it. I just had the sense, the feeling. So here I am with this channel, still able to do videos and warn people about, and just try to give some comfort to the people that you know, is having trouble with whatever it is. So when it comes to stalking, yeah, I talk about stalking. I ain't afraid of none of it. I ain't afraid of anybody. It just, except for God, because I have respect for God. That's why I fear what he can do. But I appreciate what he does too. And he just gives you that comfort in your heart. I mean, that's the, what else can you ask for in these days here now with what's going on? Even if you don't believe, whatever, it doesn't matter. What more can you ask for besides staying calm with all of this, laughing at it, making jokes and busting on them, and, you know, clowning them? The ones that don't know what they're doing, I mean, they're just other people. They can try to act like they're gangsters and they're tough when they do the mobbing and whatnot, but they ain't. They're not, you know. All you gotta do is just open your mouth and say something to them, and especially when you know that it's them, or record them, whatever. Any circumstances that happen, it's always good to have your phone with you until you don't need it anymore. Or a recording, you know, when you're driving. Even people that try to swerve into you, you can catch that on camera, because it's all about just them trying to get into, you know, to a fender bender and raise your insurance rates. It's anything to make your life inconvenient. So that's why you got to pay attention to the road. But I also done all the fake news earlier, and my channel is it's spiritual based first. That's the first reason that I got on here. And I don't want to push that down anybody's throat. So I just kind of mix it up with everything. just whatever's going on in the world that I see that I've been going through, and to show you that, look, I'm still here. Still here. Ain't nothing happened. Nothing. It's all up here. That's it. It's all up there. What do you do with your life? How do you handle these situations? Do you get mad? Do you stay in anger? Do you let them lower your, come to think of it, the Beach Boys. I'm thinking about good vibrations. Good vibrations. What is all that about, huh? Having good vibrations. Because when they're negative and you're worried and you're dwelling on things and you're skitzing about it, look, yeah, okay, the elite knows where we are at all times. They are following us nonstop. And the ultimate goal is to know where you are. That way they can come and round you up. But see, the thing is, God says that when they turn their face towards their own land, they're going to stumble and fall. And it's also not going to be the same as it was as the former or as the latter. I'm leaving it in God's hands. I mean, you're seeing all this evil, which absolutely proves that Satan exists. Okay? Number one. Number two, when it proves that Satan exists, well, then you know that God exists too, because he's the one that created him. And you understand that it's God's purpose for all this to happen. So when you finally truly get it, and you stay positive with all this, and it ain't just lip service saying, hey, I'm feeling fine, but you're really lying to yourself. No, when you finally get to that point where none of this stuff matters anymore, because you know God is inside your heart, he's with you, and he's going to protect you throughout all this. Once you finally get that in your membrane there, in your pineal gland, you can just rest. You can laugh. You can feel sympathy for them. You can pray for them. You can let them know that they lied to them. You can do whatever. I do what I can to get by the day and just turn it on them. So when they want to stare or they want to look or they want to surveil you, but without looking, and I'll just do the same thing to them. Take the phone, put it in their face, and say, how do you like it? Yes, they're everywhere, constantly. And they're not going to stop. So just accept it and